Unravel the divine plan behind Esther's story of courage and destiny. The hidden threads of purpose in Esther's journey. Have you ever felt like your life is part of a larger plan, even when you can't see it clearly? Today, let's step into one of the most profound biblical stories, the story of Esther, and explore how her journey reveals a divine plan of courage and destiny that echoes through time. You may not realize it yet, but Esther's story isn't just about her. It's about you. It's about us. It's about understanding that every twist and turn in life holds a deeper purpose, waiting for us to unravel it. Imagine this: a young Jewish woman, an orphan raised by her cousin Mordecai, suddenly finds herself thrust into a world of unimaginable power and danger. Esther, plucked from obscurity, becomes queen in a foreign land, Persia, at a time when her people are at risk of annihilation. The magnitude of this moment is staggering. Think about it. What would you do if your choices determined the fate of an entire nation? Would you have the courage to step forward, even if it meant risking everything? Esther didn't know what lay ahead, but her story teaches us something extraordinary. Life doesn't always give us a map. Often, we're called to walk by faith, trusting that the seemingly random pieces of our lives, both the joys and the sorrows, are being woven into a masterpiece. Let me ask you this: do you believe your struggles could be part of a divine plan? When Esther becomes queen, she faces a choice that will define her legacy. Haman, a high-ranking official in King Xerxes' court, devises a plot to destroy the Jewish people. It's a moment of unspeakable crisis. Mordecai sends word to Esther, urging her to intervene. His words echo with timeless wisdom, and who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this? Pause for a moment. Reflect on that question. Could it be that the challenges you face today are not obstacles but opportunities? What if every setback is preparing you for a breakthrough? Esther's story invites us to see life through a lens of purpose, even when the road ahead is shrouded in uncertainty. But here's the thing: Esther didn't immediately say yes. Like us, she wrestled with fear. Approaching the king uninvited was a death sentence unless he extended his golden scepter. She knew the risks. Yet, after prayer and fasting, she resolved to act, saying words that resonate with unshakable courage: "If I perish, I perish." Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to act in spite of it. Esther reminds us that destiny often requires bold steps, even when the outcome is unclear. Let me challenge you: what is the one act of courage you've been avoiding? Could stepping into that moment unlock the destiny you've been searching for? Esther's story also speaks to the power of community. Mordecai's guidance and the collective fasting of the Jewish people underscore a profound truth: we're not meant to navigate life alone. Who are the Mordecais in your life? Those who challenge and support you. And perhaps a deeper question: who can you be a Mordecai to? As the story unfolds, we see the divine fingerprints of God at work. Esther's banquet exposes Haman's evil plan, leading to his downfall and the salvation of her people. The reversal is breathtaking, a vivid reminder that no matter how dire the circumstances, hope is never lost. The same God who worked through Esther is still writing stories of redemption today. Let me leave you with this thought as we continue: are you ready to embrace the idea that your life, like Esther's, is part of a divine tapestry? Can you trust that even your struggles and uncertainties are threads in a masterpiece beyond your imagination? Embracing courage: how Esther's boldness transforms fear into destiny. Let's dive deeper into Esther's world and examine the heart of her courage. Imagine yourself in her position, standing in the opulent halls of a Persian palace. The weight of your people's survival pressing on your shoulders. The walls around you gleam with gold. The air heavy with the scent of incense and power. But amidst the grandeur, fear whispers in your ear, reminding you of the unthinkable risk you're about to take. Courage, as Esther teaches us, isn't born in the absence of fear. It's forged in the fire of uncertainty. The very act of stepping forward when the outcome is unknown is what transforms fear into destiny. Think about a moment in your life when you were paralyzed by fear. What stopped you from acting? Was it the fear of failure, rejection, or loss? Now imagine if you had chosen to act despite those fears. What could you have gained? Esther made her choice. Before stepping into the king's court, she fasted for 3 days. Her people fasted with her, uniting in purpose and faith. This wasn't just a delay tactic, it was preparation. Esther understood that courage is often preceded by surrender. She released control, placing her trust in a higher power. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly surrendered your worries? Trusting that the universe, or God, had a plan for you? What would happen if you did that today? When Esther finally entered the king's presence, the moment was electric with tension. The law was clear: approach the king uninvited, and you risk death. But something miraculous happened. The king extended his golden scepter, sparing her life. This wasn't luck, it was a divine intersection of courage and destiny. What's powerful here is that Esther's boldness created a ripple effect. Her courage not only saved her life but set the stage for the deliverance of an entire nation. That's the nature of courage, it's contagious. When you choose to act boldly, you inspire others to do the same. Who in your life might need to see your courage to find their own? But Esther didn't stop there. She didn't simply plead for her people's lives in a moment of desperation. She crafted a plan, hosting 2 banquets to gain the king's favor and reveal Haman's treachery. Her wisdom, patience, and strategy transformed a dangerous situation into a victory. This is a profound lesson. Courage isn't just about bold action, it's about wise action. Think about the challenges you face right now. Are you approaching them with fear or strategy? Esther reminds us that preparation, combined with faith, is a powerful weapon against the unknown. At the second banquet, Esther revealed her true identity as a Jew and exposed Haman's plot to annihilate her people. The king's reaction was swift and decisive. Haman, the architect of destruction, met the very fate he had planned for Mordecai. Justice was served. But it was Esther's courage that made it possible. Here's a question for you. What injustices in your life or the world around you are calling for your courage? What might happen if you stepped forward like Esther? There's also a deeper layer to Esther's story, the power of identity. For much of her life, Esther concealed her Jewish heritage. But in the moment of truth, she embraced who she was. That act of self-acceptance became her greatest strength. How often do we hide parts of ourselves, fearing judgment or rejection? What might change if we had the courage to be fully authentic? Esther's story challenges us to see that our true selves are not weaknesses to be hidden but strengths to be celebrated. As we reflect on this, let's not overlook the divine timing of Esther's journey. She became queen for such a time as this. It wasn't an accident or coincidence. The events of her life, from her humble beginnings to her royal position, were part of a divine plan. What about your life? Have you ever considered that the challenges and opportunities you've faced are not random but purposeful? Could it be that you're being prepared for such a time as this? Esther's story doesn't end with her victory over Haman. It extends to the establishment of the Jewish festival of Purim, a celebration of deliverance and God's faithfulness. Her legacy is a testament to what happens when ordinary people rise to extraordinary challenges. Let me leave you with one final thought as we prepare to continue. What if the very thing you're most afraid of is the doorway to your greatest destiny? Are you ready to step through it? Living your purpose. Lessons from Esther's legacy for today's world. Esther's story has brought us to this profound realization: life is not a series of random events, but a carefully woven tapestry where each thread has a purpose. In this final part, let's explore how we can apply the lessons of her courage, faith, and destiny to our lives today. Think about the world we live in, a place filled with challenges, division, and uncertainty. It's easy to feel powerless, like one voice or one action can't possibly make a difference. But Esther's life is a resounding reminder that one person, when guided by courage and purpose, can change everything. Let me ask you, do you believe you have a role to play in shaping the future? What might that role be? When Esther stepped forward to save her people, she didn't have guarantees. She didn't know if the king would spare her life, let alone grant her request. But she acted because she understood something crucial. Courage isn't about knowing the outcome, it's about trusting the purpose. So let's start with a simple question. What's holding you back from living with courage? Is it fear of failure? Fear of rejection? Or perhaps the belief that your actions won't matter? Esther challenges us to confront those fears head-on. She reminds us that bravery is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. Her story also teaches us the importance of timing. When Mordecai told Esther that she might have become queen for such a time as this, he wasn't just speaking to her role, he was speaking to the power of divine timing. Esther's courage was significant, but so was her willingness to act at the right moment. In our lives, timing often feels like an enigma. We wait for the perfect moment to act, only to find that moment never arrives. But perhaps the right time is simply when you decide to say yes. What decision are you postponing because you're waiting for the perfect moment? Could now be the time to act? Let's also talk about purpose. Esther's purpose wasn't immediately clear to her. It unfolded gradually, through challenges and choices. Isn't that how it often is for us? We rarely have a clear roadmap for our lives. Instead, purpose reveals itself in the moments when we step forward, even when we're unsure. Think about your own life. What experiences, passions, or challenges might be hinting at your purpose? Are you listening to those whispers? Or are you brushing them aside? Esther's story also highlights the power of community. She didn't face her challenges alone. Mordecai's wisdom and the collective fasting of the Jewish people were integral to her success. In the same way, we're not meant to walk our paths alone. Who are the people in your life that lift you up, challenge you, and remind you of your potential? And perhaps more importantly, who are you doing that for? As we bring Esther's story into today's world, let's consider its implications for the challenges we face. Whether it's standing up against injustice, pursuing a dream, or simply being a source of light in someone's life, the lessons of Esther remain profoundly relevant. Her story reminds us that small actions can have ripple effects. When Esther spoke up, she didn't just save her people, she inspired generations to come. What's one small action you could take today that might create a ripple effect in your world? Finally, Let's talk about legacy. Esther's legacy wasn't just her courage, it was her faith, her wisdom, and her willingness to embrace her role in a larger story. We all leave a legacy, whether we realize it or not. What kind of legacy do you want to leave? As we conclude, let me leave you with one last question. What if the challenges you face today are shaping you into the person you're meant to be for tomorrow? Are you willing to trust that your life, like Esther's, is part of a divine plan? The story of Esther isn't just a tale of courage and destiny. It's an invitation to each of us to rise, to act, and to live with purpose. Because who knows? Perhaps you, too, have come to your position in life for such a time as this.